So with that, let's pray. Lord God, just let your Spirit be with us as we take this final class till my vacation and final class for this series. Lord, as we deal with assumptions and myths of the Christian faith and how we apply it to our lives. Lord, be with us, be in our conversations. Bless our time together. In Jesus' name, amen. Yay, Assumption 12. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember the other assumptions, but we'll end with Assumption 12, which is spiritual and economic growth will be finished, not economic, but emotional, will be finished someday. Why it should finish someday? People have a perception of that. And partly because, if you're in the field of therapy or counseling, some therapists have 5 to 10 sessions, they offer that, and you're going to be fine overall. Jill doesn't offer 5 to 10 sessions.
She's smart.
Most of her clients are there forever. Oh. So there's a bit of a, some people say, oh, you're just making them dependent on therapy and all that. So that's why a few of them, they go the other way. They promote 5 to 10 sessions. You'll be fully well. You're all set. You won't be depressed. You'll be emotionally capable. Your relationship with God will be better. Relationship with people is better. So 5 to 10 sessions. So good luck with that. Ecclesiastes 3:1. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heaven. So meaning there's seasons. So there's a period that it has to stop, or some things have to stop. And also, part of what they say is, God finishes. He created the world in a finite period of time, and Jesus' work on the cross, he said it is finished. His sacrifice is done. So just finishing something means something in the Bible. And part of what they're saying is, we need to expect results. Whether we pray, study the Bible, see a therapist, join the support group, we need to see a changed and healed life of a maturing Christian. Just as we're going to have a fruit of the Spirit, signs that God's doing something in us. For those of you who just come in, the final assumption, spiritual and emotional growth will be finished someday. That's the final meal. It's just a coincidence that it's related to it. But this is the final section of our series. And I'm saying, some people come to that conclusion because even in the field of therapy, some therapists say, 5 to 10 sessions, you're cured. Whatever your issue is, you're done. And I was telling them Jill doesn't have any endpoints. Unless it's premarital, that can end. But otherwise, anything else, it's a bit up in the air depending on where the client is at. So there's this expectation out there that, we should get better. A few sessions here, we should be fine. And it sounds reasonable, it's a good, reasonable expectation. I mean, we don't want to be paying forever for services. And at some point you need to, I don't know, some people say, you gotta wean out of that. So there's just issues related to that. But the argument is, so why growth? Why do you need to continue growing anyway? Why doesn't it need to stop? For one thing, sanctification, or the process of becoming holy, it continues in our lifetime. So it doesn't end for us because we have sinfulness. It will come up, and we're immature until we grow more and more into Christ's image. Anyway, I forgot to even ask your opinion. Is this pretty straightforward? The assumption that it's not, that growth doesn't stop.
I think when you get older, you realize it doesn't stop, but when you're young, you may not. You may think,
Oh, okay.
you know?
Okay. So So even as you get older, you actually are okay thinking that you're going to continue in it.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out when I was younger. I mean, there's probably some things that I think I need to continue, and there's others. It's like, I know that. Maybe some things. I don't know what they are anymore. Is that sort of a perception? Is that something familiar? You know, if you're younger, you think
Maybe maturity in Christ. Like if you're a young Christian, then you might think that at some point
at some point.
you've achieved it.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe not as it relates to age, but just your Christian maturity.
But when you're young, you're idealistic and you think that, you know,
Yeah.
and you think that people that are old just stay home and die.
No.
Wow.
Well, you know, I mean, when you're young, you just have this different perception of, you know, and you don't realize what it's like until you get there.
Okay. Okay. Now.
I'm just wondering, like, if spiritual growth and knowing the words are the same thing,
And what? Knowing.
the words of the Lord
Hmm.
is the same thing.
Okay.
It's probably part of it.
Part of it.
That's one thing too.
Mhm.
And is spiritual growth the same thing as having a good relationship with God?
Mhm. Yeah. Or a developing relationship even, you know, because it's, in theory, it's nice, if it gets deeper, we grow more and more together because it's a relationship. Together. Okay. Interesting. Insights? I guess the slides are gonna say why growth doesn't have to stop. So, part of the reason is, you know, healing and growth need not split apart. It kind of goes together. In Luke 4:18 it says, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me because He has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery for the sight of the blind." So recovery is about getting back what we lost during the fall. You know, because we are made in God's image, but because of the fall, it didn't disappear, but it got damaged a little bit. So we lost something. And part of recovery, God recovering us, is there's a process that's involved. So in terms of how it looks emotionally, it's about getting back character traits that are not with us because of sin. You know, because we were born, fallen human nature, we have sin. So, and as we grow and as we, if we give our lives to Christ, God is actually able to change our hearts and make us able to do things that we wouldn't be able to do if God wasn't helping us. Like, just for example, just loving people, confronting evil, making connections. So just developing more and more into Christ's image. All of this, I guess I talked about there already, about maturing. But maturing and healing sort of, in a way, go together. Another reason why it needs to be, growth needs to not stop or it goes on is that if it's separate, we are forced to look at goals instead of growing. I don't know if is that clear, or is that we don't want to focus too much on completing a task as opposed to growing more and more in faith and in a way in Christ likeness. So is that sort of clear, or any questions on that? No. It's just saying, if we're too goal focused, it becomes too task oriented. We're not leaving a space for God to actually, actually work in us, because sometimes we get too goal-oriented, it becomes all about us. It's not about working with God.
It sounds more quantity versus quality.
Right, in that
I
sense,
did
yeah.
this and this and this and this.
If I can do this, if I can memorize all these Bible verses, this and that and that, if I can do it at this short period of time, yes, I will grow. So it becomes too, in that
So
sense.
it's kind of like limiting, like what God can really move you or how you can.
In a sense, yeah. Because for some people, they may need time to chew on it. Sometimes it's not about memorizing a ton in a short period of time, but there's the point of the memorization, which is chewing on it and dwelling on it with God. So that kind of loses itself if it becomes too focused. So anyway, gosh, I'm talking a lot today. But was that kind of clear, right? So he has some interesting examples, divorce of a prominent couple, active in the church, successful children, did well in business, did mission trips, but the marriage failed. So no one knows what happened. They were all busy doing things. So perhaps part of what happened is the relationship suffered. So there's that part that can suffer if it's not nurtured. But nurturing something takes time. It takes spending time together and doing other things. So that's why the reason is you should not be too goal oriented, but incorporate the fact that we're going to grow. The fact that this is a relationship. Yeah. You guys can think of any other example? I mean, this is part of the example we gave in the book, the author gave.
Yeah, spiritual growth is relationship. When you have a friend, and I don't know if you can actually set a goal, like how far can you go in the relationship, right? You always want to have a good relationship and keep the relationship here, not to like set the goal, if I get there, I'm done with this friend,
Yeah, at least you don't figure it out on your own.
Right, and you cannot actually set a goal when you do serve the Lord and serve the people. You always have to ask God, like, what does He want you to do? It's not you to set the goal, it's Him.
Yeah. Any feedback on that too, or like, what do you guys think of what Nat just said?
If you focus on one goal, sometimes with goals, like when you complete them, you kind of just forget about it after they're complete, right? So it's better to just serve with everything you've got for your entire life, so you never lose that fire. If you're too focused on just achieving a certain thing, then I feel like as our human condition, we're conditioned to just forget about it after it's done.
And one more thing, when you set a goal and you fail, then you might upset with the outcome, and then you might blame God for not, and you might say, oh, God doesn't bless me or something like that. And instead of growing, you might lose track and, come into the wrong path especially.
But my question now is there any room for goals?
Yeah.
Like, if there is, in what sense? I mean, are there such things as spiritual goals?
There is. Such as, that you want to see the church grows in numbers, the members. You want to see that they have strong relationship with God. Not just like, oh, coming here just to see people. You actually want to see them to come here as God's people, to come and serve Him and serve one another. That's the kind of goal that you want to have, but not like, oh, if I, like you said, if I could complete reading the Bible, that's not the kind of goal that you want to set, because the Bible, you could always like reread it, and you always kind of learn it every single time when you read it.
Although in a sense, is it good to actually read the whole Bible?
It is, but you cannot set like, oh, okay, I just need to like read the Bible only once, or
Only once.
and
Yeah.
like in a period of time, you don't want to set a goal that I have to complete the Bible in like 3 months, because you might complete it but not learning anything from it, because you don't spend enough time to actually focus in the words and learning it. You just read to complete it, not to learn from it.
But what if there's room for someone to say, well, I'll finish the whole Bible in 5 years?
That's fine. And
Because
the
I
next 5
think,
years,
I can chew on every book, but at the same time, I have a goal. So anyway, I'm just playing devil's advocate, trying to see possibilities for setting goals.
there's good and bad in almost everything. And you have to have, I don't know, there's good and bad. You can't set a goal that, okay, I have to complete the Bible, but in what period of time, then that's another matter. To complete the Bible is a good thing to do it, but in the sense that I have to finish it in a year, that may not be a good thing.
I did do that. That was a goal of mine, is to read the Bible. And I did complete the Bible, like maybe on the third or fourth time reading it. But I
Wow.
didn't set it in, like I'm going to do it in a year or anything. I kind of just paced myself, I guess. And after you've been reading it the first time and then reading something like, well, I didn't remember reading this the first time around. And it was really important for me because I didn't grow up going to church, and I didn't grow up going to Sunday school. So I didn't know anything. So it was, for me, a very important goal to try to read the Bible from cover to cover. And I still can't say that I know
Right.
every part of it,
Right.
but I continue to. Like, I'm still
Mhm.
reading the Bible cover to cover.
Yeah, and I guess for me, what it appears at, as long as you know that it's about growing,
Right.
and even if you have goals in there, if you know what if you know what you're after, and it's about a relationship with God, and it's about growing in faith and knowledge, then even if you actually set a goal, maybe it can help, maybe. But slavishly follow a goal, even if it doesn't help you, then that would be a mistake in a sense. You're putting something artificially set over the relationship. So
And also,